when it comes to empowerment, people do not fail because of location. People fail because of lack of information. There are a lot of people that do not know exactly what to do, where to go, and how to actually go about things. You find that also a lot of women, some of them, I am going to be truthful about this. Most of the successful ones, they have got a man behind that is actually sponsoring them. But then we have got those ones that do not have a man behind them. How then would they then maneuver or to get to do what they want to do? That's when I then get in and say, you know what, a lot of people, they have told you to just order things and sell, but there are actually connections that you are supposed to be led to for things to go smoothly, for things to go well with you, so that you enter certain doors by those connections. That information is well enough to get you to where you need to go. Like sometimes I might not even help you with money, but I can actually help you with a certain door that you need to go and knock and say, you know what, I am here. I have been referred by Prim. I heard that you are giving mortgages for my low income people. So how do I go about it? I want to join this certain cooperative because you know what? I want land. I don't earn much. Maybe I do not even earn at all. Can you show me how I should do things? So I feel that that is where I actually come in with some of these challenges that women are facing, like right now in Zimbabwe.
Okay. And so it's just lack of information, a lack of information and lack of access to information, and people not taking the initiative of knowing that if they connect with the right people and get into the proper rooms or use proper channels, they can get whatever they want without necessarily having the money, which is something that you're helping a lot of women with. That is great. This is the BOSSMAN International Podcast with your host, TAA Tomondo. Today I'm excited. I have my sister, Primrose Kurima. Prim, how are you doing, sister?
I'm great, my brother. How are you, Tad? Thank you so much for inviting me on this podcast. It's such an honor, and I'm humbled to be part of the initiative.
And thanks for doing this. And, you know, you've been somebody that I grow up around and somebody that I excited every time because you have a
Yeah.
way with words. You know how to communicate and make people feel better. You're very good. But just besides that, you're a person that always want to see people win. Excited to talk to you today, and I'm excited about this conversation. And I think a lot of people are gonna learn a lot from you. So where I'm going to start is I want to know more about your upbringing, and also
Okay.
to going to St. Dominic's where we ended up meeting, and then going to Ukraine. That experience like.
All right. Thank you so much, Ty. You know what? A lot of people, they've told me about that PR that I have. I've always been told that, you know what? If you want your things to go well, just go with Prim. By the time you guys are knocking, Prim is already in that office. Prim has already entered that office. So, you know what? It's something that is like a deja vu that I keep on constantly hearing that, you know what? You're good with words. You're good with communicating. So I want to say, as for that, I'm humbled because it's not something that I even think about. It's not even something that I learned, but I think it's actually a gift. It's a gift that I should say. And then getting in straight into the conversation. So with my upbringing, I grew up in a family of four children, me being actually the last. And I grew up in a very loving family. I grew up in a setting that had a lot of love and a lot of teamwork as well, a lot of care. So I feel that in as much as I grew up privileged, I feel that we had to learn certain values. You know what? I was not one of the spoiled kids. I was not one of those kids that would have their way. I actually grew up having a set of both parents, which whom were quite strict actually, that they had to navigate my way that I actually wanted to go through. Then I went to Hillcrest like most of my life. And believe it or not, after my Form 4, I wanted to be a nurse, eh?
Right?
And
That
and my
I can,
parents were like, you know what? You're not gonna do that. You're going for A level. I was like, no, I won't, because I had actually come from Brazil. I had gone through cultural exchange. Right now, I fala Portuguese. I can actually speak Portuguese. And I had to go and have to learn a lot of cultural exchange, which I got to meet a lot of things, a lot of people, how to navigate life by myself, and how I got to be independent at a very young age. So after that, after my cultural exchange, I then came straight back. Then I went to St. Dominic's. Oh boy, was there no contrast in that? Everything was different. Like the setup, the diet, where I was, even the location, coming from a private school. Then, in a way, I was myself now. Not that it was not that I was bitter. No, I wasn't bitter, but because I was forced to go and do things which I didn't want to. But I guess they knew best. They knew exactly what they wanted me to do. Then, upon arriving at St. Dominic's, I should say that there was not really much of a culture shock, because I was coming from a place where there was a diverse of people of social classes of different statuses, where I just went into St. Dominic's and I blended. So I feel that in that way it was actually a blessing that I did not get so much shocked with what I'm doing here and where I am. Even the level of studying, it was different from how I was like at Hillcrest. Their people meant proper business, like proper business. There was no time for play. There was no time for being held with a golden spoon. You had to work. So for me, it was actually like the real world, like I should say. There was so much that shaped my skills, so much that shaped my personality, so much value that I learned from St. Dominic's. I mean, it was a Catholic school, yeah, but coming from a school which had no religion background at all, I actually got to actually get closer to my maker. We had to go for reflections every morning, and in that way, for me being myself, I was awarded for that. I was rewarded for that. That's how I actually entered into leadership, because I was myself. So once you are yourself, there are certain rewards, there are certain awards that you get along the way that you did not know that you actually had within you. Because in a place where you are not yourself, there's a lot of potential that is actually, suppressed, that is not put out there. But because I was now in a place, I was forced to be myself and getting to blend with other people. I believe that I had to explore each and every channel that I got to find out more even about myself. That that is when, at that young age, that is when me and my, I should say mentor, because she was my mentor, because she made me an Interact president. We actually started the South African trip. In as much as I was young, people from St. Dominic's, I'm not sure now, but they started traveling to South Africa for um, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, where they got to sharpen their leadership skills, because I figured out that this was who I am. And boom, along the way, I met my brother that is interviewing me right now, who is TAA Tomondo. And Jay, look at where we are now.
yeah, exciting times indeed. And I remember just running into you, and I could see there's something that stands out about this lady. I gotta meet and talk to this, figure out how to person, my friend. Because when you see somebody of influence, you want to be around that kind of energy, right? And also to being in how can I explain this? In school, it's sort of like
Mhm.
structure around a
Yeah.
certain behavior and how you're supposed to interact, talk with other people, and behave. And
Yeah.
me and you, we kind of like our own thing. We sort of made us like weirdos in a way, but of course,
Yeah.
the environment that we're not acting according to what everybody believed that we should be acting according to, right? Sort of like
You
stood out.
see.
Yeah. Like, in a way, it was a time, if we're around the right crowd, also for us to be mentored. If people could
Hmm.
have realized, instead of trying to force these guys to be in a box, let's allow them to be themselves. Let's allow them to explore, and let us make it be okay for them, to think outside the box or not to be like
Yeah,
others. Yeah.
that's
So
true.
you ended up going to Australia to study law. So tell me
Yes.
about that. What was the decision like of thinking of Australia as your next destination and ending up studying law?
Remember, I was actually forced to go A level.
Yeah, you
So
say.
in that force, I had um I had four options that I had to choose from. I was given UK, I was given New Zealand, I was given America, I was given Australia to choose from to go to uni. So that was what was on the table. So at that time I was like, UK, that is not my personality. It's too cold, too quiet, not as vibrant as I am. I'll probably get into depression, and I don't know. And then New Zealand, it was a bit too wet for me. Still, the weather, it wasn't, I wasn't really, really okay with it. And then USA, it was the time when there were lots of shootings and all that. And I felt that it was going to take so long for me to complete my law degree because there's a lot that is in play. Then Australia was the one. I actually picked up this place because of my vibe. So it all depended with my vibe at that time. So in Australia, I then chose Australia. It was a very easy process. I went there, then I went to University of Newcastle, where I did not only study law, but I studied law, Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Laws, because you couldn't do law as a single degree, as you are coming as a first degree. So you had to do something else, either finance and law, commerce and law, arts and law. And guess what? In arts, I actually majored in politics and international relations.
Mm.
So after graduating, I took another path, which was actually my passion. I will eventually practice law. I will get into law very, very soon, but I had to fulfill and to accomplish exactly where I have been called to, which is politics and international relations. And right now, I can safely say that at a very young age, I have achieved most of the international relation um, uh, du- duties that are around the world, and there are a lot of peaceful relations that are actually happening between certain countries because I had to facilitate them. Right now, there are countries that are actually developing because I had to press certain buttons and put certain people in there. From country to country, they now have peace. And right now, I say Zimbabwe is blessed because I had to come back from Australia. I feel I was called for this. So you find that in Zimbabwe, there's a lot of things that are happening, developments and all sorts of this because of my hand that was actually put in there. So law, I will eventually practice. It's something that has guarded me in my parts of life, and it's something that has actually protected me in every way that I've worked, be it international relations, be it initiatives, be, be it being an advocate for women that I am. So it's something that is not totally put under the pillow, but it's something that is actually in work behind the scenes. And fully, you shall see it blossom.
Seems like you're doing great things, my sister. But also, too, I know you're very passionate about helping women, and
Yes.
what led you to be so passionate and so invested? I see the work that you do, even if you're getting in different places and different situations, you're always
Yeah.
pushing the women agenda forward on how can I put women on higher platforms? How can I help women be successful? So what has made you be like that or want to be like that?
I think from a young age, I went through different experiences as a very young woman. And my experiences were now outside family setup. You know, having had to have a child as a child, it's something that I conquered and said, if I can do this, another woman can. If I can conquer this chapter, another woman can. So then I felt that, you know what, I have been also called to create positive changes around women around me, not only from my experience, but that's when my calling as a pastor also came out. And I had to create a safe environment for women where they could vent, where they could speak their troubles, where they could share problems for in to one another. And I felt that in such cases we would deplete mental health issues, because mental health is real, especially for women. There are a lot of women that are in certain situations which they can't come out of because they are deprived, because they are women. So with mental health, especially like in Africa, we have got the notion that people say that, you know what, they are bewitched. You know what, they are so spoiled. You know, they wanna kill themselves because, you know what, they would rather go for them to be in a safe space. You know what, I have lived overseas for most of my life, and I've seen people thriving that have dealt with the depression that I've dealt with, that have dealt with so much anxiety. Why? Because they have got therapies, they have got community support, they have got counselors, they have got pastors. So it's something that, because I want to change this situation, like in Africa, the notion that they don't believe in mental health, they would rather go to some altar and say, you know what, there are bad winds that are coming from his or her house. So in a way, you know, we need to pray about it. Yes, praying is good, but there has to be a solution. So for every problem, I feel that there is a solution, which I feel that I am part of that number to implement those solutions to have a better circle of women. Because if you empower a woman, you have fed a nation. And once you have fed a nation, we have got a prosperous nation. Because I'm sorry to say, if you empower a man, you have empowered an individual. But if it's a woman, I feel that she gets to multiply the potential that she has. Because even if in a marital setup, if you give a woman something, she will multiply. That's why a child comes out of a woman. If you give her money, groceries come, she just multiplies everything. So imagine if we have got a world where women, they have got the right mindset, they are empowered, it will be a good world to live in.
I agree. I totally agree. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of discrimination around mental health in Africa and in a lot of
Yeah.
because, as you said, we do not pay a lot of attention to it, and you've paid your attention
Mm.
to help and make sure that a lot of women are taken care of. And you just won in an award. Tell us about the award that you just won.
Ah, oh yeah, that actually came as a surprise. I feel
Sure.
that there is no there is no small award, but you know, it also came at a time that I've been chosen as one of the 100 most influential young Africans in Africa.
Look
And
at that.
who
Congratulations to you. Sir. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
thank you so much, of which is something that I never saw coming in my entire life, basing on the experiences that I've been through, you know, the struggles, the challenges, etc. I can safely say, you know what, I am here. God has taken me to this place. You feel that when you actually are sowing seeds bit by bit, you don't see it then, you don't reap the harvest then, but these are the harvests that I'm actually now seeing, from recharge to helping women to international relations to global works, etc. It's something that I never saw that at this point in time. I am not even yet 35. I am not even yet 34 years old. I am just getting there, but I don't know how many awards that I've actually gotten. This one was for championing in women empowerment. At the same time, like I had mentioned, in Ghana for Pan Africa Youth Leadership Organization, they said no, there is another woman that is in Africa. She is in Zimbabwe. Put her on the most influential 100 young Africans. So I really, really thank God for that recognition, and I'm really, really humbled. And it's something that I never thought that, we would actually get to this place that I now have to now win awards globally, getting recognition globally. And it's something that's really, really, really humbling. And it makes me want to keep on going more and to do more in the society.
I'm happy I'm talking to one of the most influential people in Africa, and that happens to be of mine. That's very exciting. So, what are some of the challenges that women in Africa are facing right now, especially in Zimbabwe? And how you helping for them to sort of overcome those challenges?
So challenges, we do not have access to certain places, be it education, be it funding for certain things, be it things to do with the economy, and a lot of low self-esteem. And one thing I should also say, a lot of women in Zimbabwe, from what I've seen, most of them, they are under GBV. And I feel that there are a lot of people that are close to me that have actually appealed for help for this issue. They haven't gotten any help from the police. Some have been put away by the police, they've been dismissed by the police. So you find that, in a way, a woman in that situation, they have got low self-esteem, they don't have the confidence to even do anything. And you find that they are drawn away from the society, from what they are supposed to do or supposed to be. So when it comes to things like empowerment, a lot, actually, I feel that when it comes to empowerment, people do not fail because of location. People fail because of lack of information. There are a lot of people that do not know exactly what to do, where to go, and how to actually go about things. You find that also a lot of women, some of them, I am going to be truthful about this. Most of the successful ones, they have got a man behind that is actually sponsoring them. But then we have got those ones that do not have a man behind them. How then would they then maneuver or to get to do what they want to do? That's when I then get in and say, you know what? A lot of people, they have told you to just order things and sell, but there are actually connections that you are supposed to be led to for things to go smoothly, for things to go well with you, so that you enter certain doors by those connections. That information is well enough to get you to where you need to go. Like sometimes I might not even help you with money, but I can actually help you with a certain door that you need to go and knock and say, you know what, I am here. I have been referred by Prem. I heard that you are giving mortgages for my low income people. So how do I go about it? I want to join this certain cooperative because, you know what, I want land. I don't earn much. Maybe I do not even earn at all. Can you show me how I should do things? So I feel that that is where I actually come in with some of these challenges that women are facing, like right now in Zimbabwe.
Okay. And so it's just lack of information, a lack of information and lack of access to information, and people
Yeah.
not taking the initiative of knowing that if they connect with the right people and get into the proper rooms or use proper channels, They can get
Yeah.
whatever they want without necessarily having the money, which is something that
Yeah.
you're helping a lot of women with. That is great. And also too, I want to ask if there's a success story that really stood out for you from the one of the people that you've helped. I know along the way you have helped a lot of women, but is there
Mhm.
one that stood out for you? Like, man, this is something amazing.
Yeah.
It's your work.
So I am the founder of Talita Kumi Foundation. Talita
Sure.
Kumi Foundation is named after my daughter, Talita Kumi Minana Kurima. So, Talita Kumi Foundation is a labor of love. They would have saved me or my child throughout the whole process of birth. But you know what? From then, Talita Kumi means little girl, rise up and walk. So, from there, I then formed an organization called Talita Kumi Foundation that gets to help these people, that gets to help these women. And you find that we have got a success story of a lady called Tatenda, and she actually inspires me. You have no idea. I'm inspired by someone that I actually helped. Like, oh my word, like, how did you get there? How did you even then do this? Tatenda wanted to had a very low self esteem. She had doubts about herself. She never thought she would ever open her own bakery ever. She never thought that she would ever get to where she needed to be. And from there, what I actually said to her, there were certain tips that I gave her for her to get the premise like right now, which is now Manika Bakery. And
Mm,
right now she employs over 30 people in
wow.
that bakery, and she supplies baked goods everywhere, like everywhere in Manika land. It's she she inspires me. She really, really inspires me. It was through Talita Kumi Foundation, through support, through guidance as well. And there she is. Tatiana is now making strides. And right now she now has about 6 trucks that get to deliver things around from someone that said, how can I do it? How am I going to even do it? How am I even going to get support? There was an initiative that was actually happening through Talita Kumi at that point. People, they were getting grants through a certain capital fund, and
Oh, wow.
people got what they thought that it was okay for them to at least start something, not to just finish the whole something, but to at least start something. And she was one of the people that is actually now making headlines right now.
That's awesome. That's exciting. And I know the feeling of having somebody accomplish something so big that you
Yeah.
helped, you sort of played a part or role. It really makes
Yeah.
you feel so good on the inside, you know. But as somebody that has lived in Australia and now living in
Mhm.
Zimbabwe, how has the
Mhm.
internet perspective shaped the way that you approach your work?
So in Australia, I got a lot of exposure. It's a multinational country, and I got a lot of exposure and a lot of skills, a lot of a lot of values that came from that place. So I feel that my mind was broadened and my brain was made sharper, that you got to be ahead. You ought to be ahead than coming back to Africa, because I was in a first world country. Then I'm coming back to Africa. So because my mind was broadened, I felt that, it helped a lot of ways of dealing with things that I am now doing now. And because I have lived with a lot of people from different countries, I got to be then connected with a lot of nationalities as well. That it is not going to be very, very hard to maneuver through certain nations, especially for the betterment of my country and my work and my initiatives as well. So I'm really, really grateful that I got to have an experience of actually living overseas and um, getting to now impart knowledge to people that haven't.
Okay, that's great. And also too, like with the work that you do, we're talking about all the exciting things like becoming one to top 100 influential women in Africa, right? You're winning
Yeah.
different, you're doing all these amazing things, but I know it comes with challenges. So I would like to know, what challenges have you gotten to overcome along the way? I know there's so many that comes with it, but I know there's a few that have stood out to you. And I would like to know about that if you could share that with us.
Okay, so the first challenge that I'm going to share with the whole global platform and to anyone that is listening to this, I had something that was called self-doubt.
Sure.
Why did I have self-doubt? Because I grew up stammering. It's something that you can't even tell that I stammer like right now. Because like right now, I am now like a global leader. I stand before presidents. I speak before authorities. You can't even tell that. So then when I was actually starting this, I was actually thinking that, am I going to be the perfect fit for this? Am I going to be able to speak eloquently? Am I going to put my messages across? Who is going to listen to me? But in a way, God is so faithful. That thing just disappeared through, probably it's the confidence, I don't know. And also, the second thing, if you are a prayerful person, you meet different people along the way, and some they are there meant to still kill and to destroy. So you find that in as much as you are a nice person, not everyone has the same intentions over you. So then it's something that you really need to discern. You really, really need to discern who is there for you and who is actually genuine in your path. And then the other problem that many leaders do not talk about is that not everything is rosy every time. People, they want to tell you that, you know what, you can get it, you can do it, but have they told you that there is a certain season when things were not okay? There were a certain season where you felt that, you know what, you're really, really helpless here and everything is just dry. So I feel that it's a season that everyone goes through, but not everyone is ready to even talk about. And another challenge is, as a woman, you can get a lot of criticism in a male dominated world. A lot of criticism. Not everyone is willing to listen to you. Not every man is happy to listen to you. Some even bully you, some even harass you. So, as a woman, you need to be very, very strong in a male dominated setting, in a male dominated place. So, I feel that those are the challenges that I've faced in my sphere of influence. But it's just taking just one step at a time so that you can get to where you need to be.
That's amazing. And you said a lot of valuable key things there from what you explained to us. I think it's really hard, especially if you're an attractive woman like you, my sister, in these rooms, and have,
Thank you.
instead of paying attention to what you're saying, they might want a certain outcome. And if you don't give them that certain outcome, it might end up
Yeah,
being bullying that you just referred to. But,
yeah.
you're still strong and you have overcome it and you're excited to be talking to you now. But my question now would be, if I'm a young woman who's watching this and I want to build a successful business or a successful career, what do you
Mhm.
think my approach should be?
If they want to build a successful career, I would tell them that not everything is going to be rosy. It's
Sure.
going to have certain challenges that are going to come through. It is going to have a lot of hilltops more than valleys. And I feel that to overcome all of this, they need to research a lot. It does not happen overnight. They need to research a lot. They need to know exactly what they are doing and what they want to do. They need to read. And one thing that has actually helped me, this I will be very, very honest. A lot of people, they will like tell you that, be yourself, do this, do this. But as for me, I was humble enough to ask questions to everyone. Like, so how did you do this? So how did you get to be here? Please tell me more. Can you please coach me? Can you please be my mentor? I did not wake up a mentor. So a lot of people do not ask because they feel that they are already there. They feel that they have already achieved, and yet they are only starting. Not only would I get to ask the people that were more successful than me, I would actually ask the people that haven't even started, but you can actually feel that they are in the same situation or the same predicament with me. I would ask them that time you once mentioned that you were broke at this time. Now that you are no longer broke, what did you do and how did you even do it? Ask a lot of questions. Be humble enough to want to learn. You can't learn everything the first night. You can't learn anything in a day, but you need to constantly ask. If you meet a person with a very nice car, do not just walk around and say, nice car, but you really well that you know that you want that car. Ask how they got to have that car. Did they save? Did they take a loan? Did they do anything that you can actually do in the future? Ask questions. That's what I will always tell people, and that's how I am still learning. Up to this day, I'm still asking questions because I'm excited to learn, because you don't finish learning. So it's something that I feel so much satisfaction even if I go for a meeting. You are not a robot. Take a diary, take a pen, write the key points of what you can use the next time. If you are to go to an event, I really believe that you have got a phone. There are slides that speakers would be putting. Take a lot of information that you can take photos, you know, get to reflect as you get home, get to want to learn. That's how you become successful.
I like that. Humility and the willingness to learn. That's what gets you.
Yes.
And what's next for Primrose Kurima? Any exciting projects you got going on that you would like to share with us?
Well, first of all, I can say that as we have discussed, after all that has been said and done,
Sure.
the intensity of a storm is seen by the size of a cloud.
Mm.
So I feel that there is a great storm coming, and right now we have established what's called Link Mount Global Networks. It's a forum with global leaders, which I am a director in. So it's something that is about to actually take shape, to change a lot of faces of many countries. So I'm excited about this one. And not only is it going to benefit my national duties and my country, I feel that the world is going to change through this global initiative. So I feel that there is a whole lot more coming, but this one I'm excited about.
Okay, and if you could make one major change for women in Zimbabwe, what could it be?
Healthcare. I would change a lot of healthcare facilities. There are a lot of women that are dying during childbirth, and like a lot of women, they do give birth. Not every woman gives birth, but a lot of women do give birth, and a lot of them, because of lack of health facilities. I feel that if I can change something about that, where people, they can have free health access, where it's a possibility that it is going to be a normality to go to the hospital and get medical treatment, and medicine is not really expensive. So especially for women, they are the ones that are actually, you know, in the hospitals every day. You find that the maternity clinics, they are full of people. The mortuaries, yes, they are full of people. There are those two things which get in a person each and every day. So when it comes to women, I feel that especially the maternity sector, and then after, there are a lot of women that are going through what's called postpartum depression, that they get depressed after giving birth, and then maybe other people, they commit suicide. Maybe if someone is going through a lot, if if there is something happening in relationships, in marriages, let there be a center where women, they just get counseled, they get counseling, they get therapy, and it's along the health sector. And I feel that a lot would have changed, and a lot would have been done to actually save lives.
Sure. And so our experiences shape us as human beings. And I
Mhm.
know a lot of your childhood going through boarding school. So, what's one of those things that you really took out of the whole experience that keeps on up to this point? For me, I'll give an example. Being a syndic, I learned to be
Yeah.
humble in terms of,
Mhm.
being. I thought I was somehow intelligent to some extent. I am. I'm still very intelligent, but everybody
Mhm.
is intelligent in a different way. There are always people that think in a better or different way than you do. So the only thing you could do is just try to tap into that and try to learn from them. And then come back, you combine all these different intelligences around you, and and then you use yours on top of that. Then that's how you get ahead of everybody. But if you just think like I'm really good at this, you're not really as ahead as you think you are. So what's one of those experiences that keeps on like shaping you up to this point that you have learned from back in the day?
So for boarding school, I can say that there are a lot of values that I learned, especially being independent. I
Sure.
got to be independent. I really got to be independent, and I learned the value of money. Because I was far away from home. I was far
Okay.
away from constant income, I should say. So I got to be very, very independent, and getting to learn certain life skills that have actually shaped me into the woman that I am, like right now. You know, having to be independent at a very young age, you won't really find it difficult to maneuver through life, rather than a child that did not go to boarding school. They did not learn to do things by themselves. They did not get um, to be weaned off certain benefits, of which I was. So there are a lot of real life skills that I got to then learn, and to accept everyone as who they are as well. Because we were one community, we were one society. At the
Sure.
end, we became one family. So people, they came from different backgrounds, diverse locations, different levels. You had to accept everyone who they are. But at the end of the day, I'm really, really grateful that even going to uni, it was not as bad. Like, it was not as terrible or scary. It was not
Sure.
much of a shock, because I got there, started living by myself in my own flat, using those skills that I had learned from boarding school. So I'm really, really grateful for the experience, and I'm really, really thankful for the time that we all got to go through those certain times of being in boarding houses, boarding schools, and also getting to respect one another. Respect brought honor. Respect also brought humility, like you said. So getting to respect people at a very young age, that thing has a way of always coming back. That's why people, they got to be drawn to me in a certain way that many people could not understand, but it was because of how I got to respect people around me, and how I got to just honor them for being whom they were. So yeah, it was a good, good, good experience.
That is true. A lot of people do not accept other people for who they are. But once you learn
Yeah.
to do that and just accept people and take them for who they are, that opens
Yeah.
up doors, great relationships with other people. But for people who want to connect to Primrose Kurima, how can they
Mhm.
connect with such amazing work? And you're helping so many women, and this is something great that you're doing. So, how do people connect with you?
We have got a lot of social media handles, but for starters, my social media handles are Primrose Kurima. And for all the initiatives, we have got Talita Kumi Foundation on Facebook. We have got Local Unity Women International on Facebook. We have got Link Mount Global Networks on Facebook. A lot, like everything is a lot. But the whole source, it all comes from the social media handle from Primrose Kurima. That's where, we can connect, we can network, we can mingle. Come and talk through and let us get to know each other and see where we can take each other.
Sure, and you should definitely connect with Prim, one of the most amazing people I ever met. To sum up your mission, if you had to put it in one sentence, how would you sum up your mission?
My mission, I would sum up in a sentence that I've mentioned before, that the intensity of a storm is seen by the size of a cloud. So this is not only pertaining to me, this is pertaining to a lot of people that are actually trying to do things out there, working diversely through different things, trying to sow seeds, and maybe sometimes you can't see harvest. But I'm telling you, take it from my story, eventually you will see harvest. I remember my first award. It was actually a surprise. I never thought it was actually coming through. But yeah, I was seated in a crowd where I was actually ushering and helping, and it came through, because they knew that I was in that place. So I feel that never ever give up. It will still pay one day. One day is one day. Challenges will come, challenges will go. But take it as one step at a time. You are not in a race with anyone, you are not in a rush. At the given time, you are going to reap.
That's excellent. There's a saying that says, "Show me five of your friends, and I'll show you your future." Prim is one of my friends, and I'm one of your friends. So you can tell the future is going to be bright. Thank you, my sister, for doing this with me. It was an amazing podcast. So much
Yeah.
knowledge that you dropped on this podcast, and I hope it's going to reach a lot of people and help them in so many ways. Thanks for doing this and taking your time again, my sister.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I'm honored.
For sure.